because I don't feel as tired as people who did say that they did the fast felt. I don't feel as tired. I just feel pale. And I'm not gonna lie, y'all, I was low-key already a little skinny, but I could see my ribs. Anyways, this is the verse of the day. Hold on. Because in no way, shape, or form am I trying to Jackie Hill Perry y'all. Like, I just think Jesus is kind of cool. I like the words Christianity as a dogma. Could care less. The gay to Christian pipeline right now, very alarming. I know people are having a lot of regret, but stand in what you did, baby. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, oh Lord. Anyways, we about to go run some errands. So I actually want to talk on something about like the whole me being like, I ain't trying to Jackie Hill Perry nobody. Like, that's a joke, but like, anyways, I was actually reading, aside from me reading the Bible, I read other things. And I'm sorry, this is so distracting. Yeah, I was reading this book, or reading an excerpt from a book, and it's about essentially how, seatbelt, put your seatbelt on, y'all, be safe. It's an excerpt about how civilizations over time are able to come together. And first thing that I learned was that smaller groups of people are able to actually do better as civilizations, because since it's a smaller group of people, they trust each other more, right? And also I learned that gossiping is good, because, you know, that's how information spreads. And like, if I trust you and you're giving me whatever type of information, in a smaller setting, we're saying in a smaller setting, we're not saying now, but if I trust you and I get my information from you, it's like more credible, because I'm constantly in community with you, right? Now, the way to get a larger group of people to believe in something is to create an idea or some type of cause or something imaginary for them to believe in. And it was talking about, you know, how this could have been a whole reason as to like how the Crusades were able to get people to be a part of their cause, how slavery was able to happen in America. Essentially, like, if I believe in this thing and you believe in this thing, but we don't know each other from nowhere, but I'm able to trust you because you have the same beliefs as me, that's essentially like the whole idea of like how bigger civilizations are able to form. And so like, it just makes you think, like, you know, because like about the whole thing about like all the different types of Bibles and stuff like that. It's like, yeah, because it's like I need to get as many people to believe in what I believe in, and maybe this person can't comprehend, but if I could just get the core of what I'm trying to get to these people, like what I want to get across to these people, then that's all that really matters. It doesn't matter if I'm giving them the original facts of the source. What the heck? Yo, what the fuck? Bruh. That was so annoying. Anyways, yeah, it doesn't matter what the source is. So I found that quite interesting, because yeah, that's a really big part of, like, you know, Christianity. Like, there's so many different types of connecting them is the fact that they all believe in Jesus Christ, they believe in the Father, and they believe in the Holy Spirit, and that those aren't all one thing, but they're all connected. You know, I like to describe it as God exists, God is the sun. Rays exist, that would be Jesus. And then warmth happens, and that's the Holy Spirit. You're welcome. Do something good with that. But I'm not really like attached to the whole thing of like, even like, I'm just not attached to the religious aspect of it, because then I would have to really like ignore all the tragedies that have happened due to this thing. And I believe that if something is truly what it is, especially if it is so pure, there should be it should not be corruptible. You know, because I feel like that's so much blasphemy. That's just so much blasphemy that's happening. Should these people not be struck down? You know what I'm saying? But that could have something to do with whatever happened when Jesus came. Like, maybe somebody has an answer for that. I don't care. I don't care for the answer for that, because I don't really care to focus on that. I feel like focusing on that is just more of like the propaganda of the religion, and more of them just trying to like push whatever agenda. And I just couldn't care less. I believe in what I believe in. Those are the main 3 things that I heard that I needed to really care about. They make sense to me, and that's about it. I don't care about everything else, because I still believe in manifestation. I still believe Jesus had magical powers. He had a gift. He was able to manifest things in real times. If he was real, I think he could have been real. I feel like there's so much craziness in the world, like that I have personally seen. I personally have seen so much wild things since birth that I honestly don't put it past I really don't put it past that he was real. I feel like now things like those phenomenons are like nerfed a bit more, simply because like I feel like if people actually did like have more paranormal or supernatural, I like to say supernatural. Paranormal is kind of cool too, but I feel like if people had more supernatural experiences, not gonna lie, they would believe in God. It'd be easier for them to believe in God. And at first I didn't really think that, because like I used to have so much paranormal and supernatural experiences that I was like, but the church did not want me to like pay attention to that at all. And I was like, no, this is like what's going on. But honestly, if they would have at least like let me like really like explore that without the judgment, I would have believed in God so much faster. Pause. I've always believed in God. I just think that I would have believed in the concept of a man being conceived without ever having a man being conceived but not from conception. You know what I'm saying? I feel like I would have ran with that so much faster, so much quicker. Like I just, you know. But anyways, we'll continue on our errands. Hi. Oh, it is so hot. I remember somebody being like, it's too hot to be a stud. B, it is too hot to be a stud. For real, it's hot. I really had to I had to take that off. My energy levels are actually really starting to show right now. So we gonna see if we gonna get through running these errands.